And then in 1967, Israel launched a preemptive war, and they won again. And then they just took 100% of it. And then they just took control of the West Bank, all of Jerusalem, and Gaza. And they've had it ever since.
Jeez.
They won a war in 1967, and they've occupied these territories ever since. And the Palestinians in these areas have, Joe, they just have no rights. They have no natural rights. They're just nothing. Like, they are the government of Israel. They, for most of the time, they were literally occupying it with the IDF, like not worse than martial law, because it's like a foreign military, like foreign occupation. And they've always maintained control of everything that goes in and out, what supplies, how much food, how much water, how much electricity, all of these things.
There is always controversy, and some people it's becoming very difficult for them to accept that Israel is an occupier, that Israel is an apartheid state, that the creation of Israel disfavored a lot of Palestinians who were living on that particular land. And the people have always argued that the land belongs to the person or to that person or to this person or to that person. And people think that because the Israelis went through a lot in the hands of the Europeans, they will be kinder to the Palestinians. People thought that because the Israelis had this terrible experience, they would treat other people with kindness. They would treat other people with some fairness. But people are realizing that it's not like what they have thought, right? That it looks like someone who is being bullied or someone who has a history of bullying, and that person turned up to become number one bully. It's something like that. For example, most bullies you find around, right, are people from homes that are being bullied, are people whose parents were bullied, are people who are being bullied or who were bullied by their parents or people close to them. And so they are transferring the anger, the pain, the frustration on other people. Now, I am not a psychologist to say that, and I do not want to be someone who want to psychoanalyze the Israeli authority. But what I'm saying is some of the things they are doing, some of their actions in Gaza would make someone wonder what their whole intention is all about. And if they feel no pity for the people in Gaza. Because as of now, they have killed 15,000 people in Gaza already. 15,000 in just 2 months. It's not even up to 2 months. I think like maybe 50 days, something like that, or 55 days. It's not up to 2 months. They have killed almost 15,000 people plus or minus. So if you give them 6 months, 1 year, how many people would they kill? And what is that magic number that will make them feel satisfied? What is that number that when they reach, they'll be like, okay, we've done enough. So maybe we should surrender, we should retire, we should go back home and be at peace with ourselves. What is that number? What is that number? So I want us to watch this video. And when we come back, we shall continue. And please, kindly share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And I just want to say one more thing. More too often, my opinion and that of the viewers are not always aligned. Like we have different takes on things. And I love that. I love that very much. So I believe that I can be wrong sometimes. Others also can be right sometimes. And we don't have to share the same opinion about many things. Okay, but I would love that we keep it civil. We live in a civilized society, and whatever I say that you disagree with it, just point it out to me in the comment section, and make it clear. Keep it civil. Don't go or caution or cursing or whatever. That is really not appropriate. So let's watch the video.
The creation of Israel involved kicking a whole lot of people out of where they were living at the time and had been living for hundreds of years. 750,000 Palestinian Arabs were kicked out of their land. Many of them were forced out. Many of them fled and then were never allowed to come back. And
this was in 47?
Well, it started in 1947. Yeah, so in 1947, and this is like right in the aftermath of World War II, and the British Empire was basically crumbling, and they had been ruling the territory of Palestine under a mandate, and so they basically washed their hands of the situation. There had been issues for years already, and they kicked it over to the United Nations, and the United Nations was a brand new organization, or like a year old or something like that, and they had no authority to like create states out of nowhere. It was a recommendation. They go, we recommend this partition plan that would have given 56% of the land to the Jews for a Jewish state and 44% of the land to the Arabs to have an Arab state. And at the time, the Jews, the Zionist settlers there, they owned about 10% of the land. And so this recommendation was that they get 56% of the land. And so immediately the Zionist settlers accepted. They went, yes, great deal. We'll take 56% of this. And the Arabs were like, no, that's not a fair deal at all. And then pretty immediately after that, there's a great book by Sheldon Richman called Coming to Palestine, if you're interested in the topic and you want to see. But immediately after that, a bunch of essentially like Zionist militias started kicking Arabs off of the land. Like, hey, the UN said this part's ours. And like first a civil war broke out. And in this process, hundreds of thousands. I mean, between 1947 and 1948, the total number is around 750,000 Arabs who were forced out or fled. And then in 1948, Israel declared independence.
Like I told you before, right? I like videos like this because it gives you an insight into the whole Israel-Palestine situation. And more too often, people will just start to look at it from the 7th of October, which is kind of like BS, because there has always been a outstanding issue between these two peoples. There has always been a problem that needs resolving, but somehow people have always put that at the back burner. No one has really given it some thought. No one has ever been serious about solving the issue. And that is why the issue has just been kicked down the road again and again. No one has really wanted to solve it. That is it. And the thing that gets me so annoyed is like, before I get to that first, let me just say this. I understand that as a people, we all want to survive. And I understand the urge for the Israelis people to have their own state. Because of what they've gone through in Europe, they thought that they needed a place where they could be safe, according to them. They thought that they wanted a place where Jews could feel at home. And that is a good thing. That is a good thing. For you to have somewhere you feel at home, that is a good thing. But the way you go about creating something for yourself is very important. You cannot just want to create things for yourself by destroying what other people have built. I cannot just come over here and say that because I want to create a home for myself, I want to create somewhere I can feel safe and secure for myself and my family by destroying what other people have built. That is not fair. That is not fair. And the thing that, like I said before, the thing that gets me annoyed is that when Israelis, fundamentalists, when people like Ben Shapiro want to talk about Israel and the creation of Israel as a whole, they will not give you the entire truth. I understand that sometimes supporters of anything would favor the thing and will all lie in favor of the thing. But sometimes it's always nice to put everything into context. Sometimes it's always nice to give a backstory to everything so that people understand exactly what has happened and what has been going on for this length of time. Let's say, for example, the Martians, they came to Earth and asked, what is the problem between Israel and Palestine? And someone said, well, Hamas, that is a terrorist group, broke into Israel and killed 1,200 Israelis. And so Israel had no choice but to wage havoc on Hamas. I think the Martians will be like, Israel has a legitimate claim to do that Israel is within their right to do that. They will say that. Why? Because they have no idea of the backstory. And the person who have introduced this topic to them has totally left out a huge chunk of the whole deal between these two peoples. They need to start from the very beginning. If they start from the creation of the state of Israel, the Martians might have a different view on the whole crisis. So, putting everything into context matters a lot. Giving a backstory to everything or anything matters a lot. You cannot just tell people half truth. You have to tell them the whole truth. And Israel has done things that are bad. Likewise, Hamas, likewise, the Palestinian Authority. They have all done things that are terrible at one point in time. There are no good guys here. There are none. But you guys out there, share your thoughts and opinion with us. What do you think about this mind-boggling information brought forth to us by a guest on the Joe Rogan podcast? Do you share his opinion, or do you think what he said was correct or not? Share that thought with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, because that helps us a lot. We are but a small channel that we are trying to grow, and every single like, comment, share, and subscription matters a lot. Every one of them matters a lot. And we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.